My name is James Biddulph. I'm the Executive Head Teacher at the University of Cambridge Primary School. And I first became interested in education and teaching when I worked and lived in Nepal for a year and loved working in both primary and secondary schools. And on my return, decided that I'd like to pursue a career to really understand from a theoretical and a practical perspective what a great educator and a great education could be. I loved learning when I was at school, really loved it. I loved being in school, and I wanted to kind of share that love of learning and the sense of community of being in a school um, with children, with other people, and being part of a school community is a very powerful place to be, because we have an opportunity to affect change with the young people that we see every day. So that was a real motivator for me. I think most educators go into education because they want to make a difference. And so boldly, I say, I really came into it to try and help change the world. So teaching assistants are key members of the school community. They're part of the ecosystem of how schools function. And I think one of the big challenges that all schools are facing, and it really plays out in the work of teaching assistants, is the increased need that children are presenting, both in terms of special educational needs and disabilities, but also children in the post-pandemic world are needing more attention, more support as they kind of grapple with social skills and their emotional well-being that's been in many ways damaged because of the uncertainties and the disruption that's happened. So I think teaching assistants, one of the biggest challenges is how do they support the greater need that's being seen in schools. To support teaching assistants in managing the challenges with which they're faced in schools, in classrooms, in playgrounds, we need to first of all value their contribution, and we start valuing them by including them in professional development. We include them in conversations about education, about how we want children to be, not only now but in the future, and then also to value them essentially by paying them the salary that they deserve. So there are kind of three. There's a professional development bit. There's understanding the role and appreciating the role they have, and then also, powering them up to be kind of the paraprofessionals that they are, through the way that we want to pay them and reward the contributions they make. We really need to recognise the work of teaching assistants. One question is often asked is, why wouldn't we? Why wouldn't we want to include them in the whole mix of the education discourse? So being members of the Chartered College of Teaching, associate membership scheme that's being launched, is a powerful, not only a symbol, but it's a statement that says that teaching assistants are hugely valuable, that without them, schools wouldn't function. I think it's hugely beneficial that the Chartered College has initiated this associate membership route for teaching assistants. I think the first aspect that as a benefit is that they are seen. Teaching assistants will be seen publicly as contributors and significant members of the education community. I think secondly, there's a real lack, and this kind of fills that gap of a professional community, a professional network of teaching assistants. Often we see that we would consider that all the answers are outside the school, but there's a huge wealth of knowledge and wisdom that teaching assistants have, and the Chartered College of Teaching has. I'm hopeful that the capacity to share that wisdom through the networks and professional communities that you create, and then also there's the bite-sized chunks of learning. Teaching assistants are busy people, and their hours in school are often shorter than a teacher's. So having these bite-sized chunks of learning where they can kind of enhance their own practice through kind of a toolkit of professional development, is an exciting opportunity, and I think it will build on already the work of others in the education space, but it will be uniquely contributing to by being research informed, and who knows, teaching assistants might then become research generators and contribute towards the impact journal and other resources that the Charter College might present. So support staff and teaching assistants are often at the chalk face in classrooms, or they're working with the most vulnerable children or the children with the most complex needs. And whilst it's important that there's a kind of dynamic movement of adults in the classrooms, and the teachers also work with those children, it is often the case that teaching assistants and support staff work with the most vulnerable children. So unless we equip them with the right knowledge and the right skill set and the ability to ask better questions about their practice, then the children effectively won't get the best deal. So teaching assistants are doing their very best, but we can support them even further by providing the right knowledge, the right skills to support those most vulnerable children. I think the impact of being an associate member of the Charter College of Teaching, as well as all the professional learning that's available, is the beginning of real recognition for the work that teaching assistants and support staff do in schools. It's a badge of recognition. It's also the starting of raising the voice, raising the rafters for teaching assistants that we do in schools already. This will become a symbolic and big statement and a gesture of kind of recognition of the role they play in schools. So there are many support staff and teaching assistants who love their job and want to carry on being the very best teaching assistants that they can be. And I think the Charter College membership will enhance their work and will support them in really expanding their toolkit to be able to support the diverse range of children in schools. There are also teaching assistants and support staff who have aspirations to continue their journey, maybe to become teachers themselves, or social workers or other professionals who support the educational offer that we have in schools. So I think also by being a member of the Charter College of Teaching, those support staff who want to pursue a career in teaching as teachers, it kind of adds greater credence to their applications, to their roots, to their willingness to learn. It shows a greater willingness to learn and contribute as a professional community. I'd highly recommend any member of the support staff team or teaching assistant to become a member of the Charter College of Teaching. It's very reasonably priced for the huge resource that they will have with the Impact Journal and with the online resources and the professional community that will be created and nurtured. The question really is, why wouldn't you? Why wouldn't you want to be part of a body that is saying yes to education, yes to better education, and yes to the very best chances for children? And without teaching assistants and support staff as part of that dialogue, then we are poorer for the outcomes that we have. So I would say there's no reason why you shouldn't. It's very cheap. Go on then. It's brilliant. Have a go.